They took a group of people and they said, what time do you normally go to bed and how much do you normally sleep? And they described, I'd normally go to bed around 11, sort of 10, midnight. There was some variability. And then my sleep need, they said, what's your greatest amount of sleep to feel at your peak, at your optimal amount? And they were sort of saying, probably around 8. And then they just took them off and they took away their phones. They said goodbye to their family and friends. This is it for the next 2 weeks. Shipped them off up camping in the Rocky Mountains in America. And they had no electricity, not even torches, no source of light. And firstly, what they found is quickly they went from being a habitual bedtime of, let's say, 11 o'clock at night to moving back and back towards 10 o'clock and then 9 o'clock. So firstly, where you slept on the 24-hour clock face shifted back because you weren't infected by modernity and electricity and illumination. The second thing was that they didn't just sleep 8 hours, they ended up sleeping closer to 9 hours on average as a group, which again, I think suggests that this idea that we can survive on 6 hours of sleep, or we were designed to survive on 6 hours of sleep, or that's our natural innate need, is not true. Because when you dislocate human beings from all the vagaries of modernity and you allow their natural sleep to be expressed, they sleep very differently. They don't sleep at the normal time that they do, and they don't sleep the normal duration that they do. They go to bed earlier and they sleep longer.
I wonder if there's something not just about technology in terms of the light and the kind of physiological response, but also the intensity of communication. For some reason, I don't know why, but I counted up the number of WhatsApp messages that I had with different people yesterday. I had 27 different conversations, and I wouldn't have thought that's that unusual for people on a daily basis. There's something about that intensity of thought that is very stimulating. Yeah. And whether it's kind of earlier or later in the day, it's quite hard to come down from that if you're trying to get to sleep as well. So it's not just kind of artificial light, but it's that as well, I wonder.
I think you're right. I think part of the reason that we're seeing such high rates of insomnia and high rates of just sleep disruption and sleep disturbance is in part because of this, faster paced 24/7, MTV fast food generation kind of lifestyle that we're living. And we know that anxiety is one of the principal triggers of insomnia. And I think that's what a lot of these sort of social apps will create. Either it makes you anxious about what you're not doing and what you should be doing, or there's what they call FOMO, which is fear of missing out. And in fact, this is particularly deleterious to teenagers. One study found that teenagers will often sort of sleep with their phones next to them, and they will routinely wake up at least once or twice a night to check their phone, to check social, just to see what's going on, because they have a fear that they miss out on something during the night. And this is frightening.
That's awful, isn't it?
I think one of the other things that technology does in that sense is it causes what we call sleep procrastination, which is actually a real thing, which is that you get into bed, you're tired, you could easily fall asleep, but you've got your phone next to you, you think, oh, I'll just check Facebook one last time. I forgot that post. I'll just check Twitter. Oh, and I should order that thing from Amazon, so it's here tomorrow. And then you look up and it's 30 minutes later, and now you've shortchanged your sleep by, half an hour. That type of thing can be a real problem too.